this evening for join us for this Coaches Podcast, the Coaches Talk. We want to let everyone know that this segment is preparation for international students who are looking to pursue an opportunity as a student athlete within the United States. We're trying to provide the services to the many student athletes located in the Bahamas, but we're welcoming everyone, especially our brothers and sisters who reside in other international jurisdictions. The information that we'll provide on this evening, it'll be open for everyone involved. So we hope you all just sit back, relax, and enjoy a good show. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to start off with our first segment, which is Coaches Talk. I want to go back to, recognizing the coaches. We have Coach Andy Rochun from College of Lake County, located in Grace Lake, Illinois. Coach has done a lot of work. He's fairly new into the coaching ranks. However, he has accomplished a lot. One thing Coach said upon our acquaintance is that he wants to be known more than just that coach on the court. He wants to be remembered for the work he did as far as helping the young men develop holistically. And so Coach has done tremendous work. Of course, as an assistant coach at College of Lake County, he has helped a number of students go and play at the next level, play Division I, play Division II, Division III, NAIA. He has done a lot of work there, but one of the most incredible works that he has accomplished is his project, Total Athlete Development, where he looks to help students develop holistically, looking into the next 10, 20 years as far as what they accomplish. We have Coach Fredrick from Edward Waters. For everyone familiar with Jacksonville, Florida, Duval, stand up. Coach has Coach a lot.
Let's go.
That's it. Duval, everybody knows Duval. We have to represent Duval. Duval always growing up. They proud from where they from. So we definitely got to represent Duval. We got some special guests tonight, so we got to represent. But Coach has accomplished a lot. We can look at his extensive track record as a head basketball coach. Before he arrived at Edward Waters, he was at Talladega College for 1 year, and he was coach of the year there. Helped build a powerhouse. He has left, and the work that he built up at Talladega is sustained there. So that says a lot when a coach can leave a foundation, leave a blueprint, go to another coach, and they're still sustaining success. Prior to Talladega, he was at Concordia College, where they won the national championship in 2017, 2016. They were runner-up. He went to 4 consecutive appearances in the United States Collegiate Athletic Association, and he has an extensive track record. We was joking earlier that Coach has made, he's beginning to make the Bahamas his second home. Last year he hosted the University of Bahamas in a game as far as an exhibition, and he was looking to go back this year. Unfortunately, COVID interfered with those plans, but we're looking at where that could be a sustained relationship where more can grow from that in the future. And we're looking for Andy Rochun to do the same thing. You're not just coming on this show just to talk. We're looking for you
You already know
Bahamas
I'm all in the well.
That's it. So
that's what.
That's it. We can't wait. We can't. We're gonna have our showcases and everything out there for you all to come. So this is the first thing we want the parents, coaches, and students to become acquainted with these coaches. They're gonna be with us shortly. But we want to first, before we go into questions, we want to actually yield the floor to them where they can actually talk about their program. So I'll hand it over to Coach Rochun. Coach Rochun, can you share?
Yeah, no, I would definitely love to share about College of Lake County. Like I said, I think we're doing some things right now that have never been done at CLC. That's our what we talk about is that we want to do something different, and we want to impact our community in a different way. And high school basketball here in Illinois is a big thing. You go down all the way to Southern Illinois, where there are less people than Chicago area. It's even bigger. My old high school coach, he's an AD now. They have a 5,000 person arena, in high school basketball down in Central and Southern Illinois. So it's even bigger than it is, here as far as people watching you. So I wanted to kind of bring that feel, to this area. And, the way that we were going to do that is, to build our our community, but also build, what we have as a group of people, and to have pride in what we do. And in this area, like, it wasn't a school that they really took a chance on, kids, as far as, hey, I can come here and I can move on to the next level. And so when we came here, that was our main focus, was to kind of get guys to the next level. And by doing that and having the relationships that we have with other coaches, we've been able to do that a little bit. And like I said, we've been able to bring in some more players. So now it's really about how can we build, but how can we develop a relationship with coaches that are already doing what we want to, succeed with this program. You know, Coach Edwards, I mean, what you're doing is amazing. Like, this is unbelievable. Edwards College, like, you guys are phenomenal, and I would love to learn from you. And being a part of these type of groups is, great, because I can learn now, how can I bring this to our program? And we're kind of in that state, because we took a team that was 9-20 to now 19-12. How can we build on that? How can we connect with others that can help us build? Because we didn't do this by ourselves. And that is something that I always want to, say, is that this wasn't done alone. And I know to build this and to grow, how we want to be, and Coach Fitzgerald, everything he said, there's no way we can do it by ourselves. Um, and that's why, I love being a part of groups like these, because I need to know, from coaches like you all, that are successful and that are already building young men, how can I grow our program? And, it's been phenomenal, and I'm so happy that I'm a part of this right now. And yeah, I mean, that's truthfully where we're at. Like, we're just trying to build this thing. You know what I mean? Like, this is our first year, truthfully being a part of it. And now we want to grow our program. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, Coach. That's kind of where our program is. I mean, we're truthfully building this thing from the ground up.
Nice.
Thank you, Coach. We're excited to learn. We're excited to learn more about your program, and the work that you all are doing is great. Is definitely great for the students in Illinois. Coach Summers, we want to yield the floor to you as well. Talk about Edward Waters.
Edward Waters, man. This is year 3 for us, going into year 3. The first year we took over the program, we had 3 kids from that was held over from the previous coach. I brought 6 guys with me from Talladega, and we ended up losing in the conference championship. Year two, well, let me go back. Of that championship, the team that made the run to the championship, we lost 3 seniors off that team, and first time in school history that Edward Waters had even been to the championship on the men's side. And year 2, we returned 3 guys, lost 3 seniors, returned 3, beat 5 top 25 teams in the country in NAIA. Played Stetson really close, should have beat them.
Oh, I like that.
Lost to Stetson by 7 points. Lost to FAMU. Lost to FAMU my first year by 9, second year by 12. University of North Florida, who is one of the top Division I programs in the ASUN conference, was consistently beating EWC by 40 points, consistently, every year. And here we are leading them with 10 minutes to go in the game, and end up losing the game by 12. But just to see those strides in the program, and changing the culture, because like I said, if we took over a culture where the kids just weren't used to working hard and weren't used to winning. They thought that they would be able to just come in and play and win games, and it doesn't work that way. If you look at our website and our social media feed from this past season, 9 of my guys on the ADs on the road with a 3.0 GPA or better. I got my point guard has a 4.0, and he's a presidential scholar. So that that's one thing I'm completely proud of is that we getting guys in and graduating more than anything. The wins will come, but those degrees are gonna stay with those guys, forever.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that that's our number one focus. That's our. Don't get me wrong. Now we got to win, because they pay me to win games, but
yeah.
but I want to personally make sure that my guys graduate college and leave here with degrees, because it makes no sense for me to have a degree and I'm bringing guys in to play in my program and I don't make sure that they obtain theirs. Like I said, and going into year 3, we're not building the program from the ground up anymore, but we're building it with guys that want to be here, not guys that think, oh, I'm here because something happened, elsewhere. And we're building it with kids that want to be here, that want to invest in the program, that want to invest in themselves. And I feel if we continue to get those type of guys, then you can sustain that program for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. That's the truth. We all know that when coming into a new situation, you have to. I don't want to say it bad, but something you got to break the bad habits. From the previous. What pretty much you just break the bad habits that played the team in the past. In order to still what your beliefs and your ideology for a successful team. Sometimes it's hard. It's definitely hard with these student athletes. But we know in order to win, and you have a track record of winning, you knew what you needed to see from your athletes, and you saw improvement off the bat. Competing with D1 programs, NCAA D1 programs, beating the teams that were amongst the best in your conference. That was great. Coach Rochun, you all did the same thing. I mean, being a D2 JUCO program, you all went 19-12. Who knows what would have happened if your season wasn't abruptly, canceled due to COVID, but you all was on the road too. And both of you all have programs where the students achieve, high production and were recognized with accolades for their accomplishments on the court. So that says a lot about the work that you all have brought forward to your programs. But I don't want to continue to talk, just hog up the platform. We have a few questions for you all, coaches. We have my colleague, David. David, you can go first. I know you have a question for Coach.
Yes. Before I ask the question, coaches, just want to say that's really an amazing job.
Thank you.
Especially, looking over for your players. Some people just take it as a business, and it is what it is. I get the best of the kid. If he wants to go, he goes. It is what it is. I move on. It's the next kid, but to actually, put that much time in and to gain as they gain, and you feel personal. You feel a personal growth in them, and it makes you feel better. That's impressive, and especially your records. Turning around from going 9-20 or whatever it was you said to like 19-12. That's pretty impressive. And I know about the Ospreys, if that's the school you're meaning, North Florida. Yeah, they're pretty tough. Boy, they're tough. Listen to me, that's a tough school. I think they're low level D1, but I think they snuck into the tournament year before last.
I mean, listen, if you ever want to prepare for a 3-point shooting team, that's the team to play. They average 13 a game.
They're good. They're good. They remind me of another school, Florida Gulf Coast. They're two tough teams in that level, and they're
in
really
that league.
good. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to get to the question. I don't want to take you on that. I love the college basketball, so just wanted to give you guys your props. You deserve it. You're doing a great job. Sometimes people will take the time to say thank you and they appreciate what you do. So just wanted to acknowledge that. But I also wanted to ask a question. Have you experienced any challenges recruiting Bahamian students? And before you answer, in regards to like any visa or political barriers or any interference with the government or anything at all that we need to know, so when the kids are watching this, we can work on that.
I haven't had any issues with the Bahamian government. I think the only time I've ever had it was with the kid getting the information in a timely fashion in order to get the I-20 done. When I was at Concordia, we had a couple of students from the Bahamas, and that in that sense, that was the only, the only issues I've ever had or encountered from, but nothing from the Bahamian government.
All right. What about you, Coach Rochun?
Yeah, honestly, on my end, our only thing is just because we're a D2 JUCO, our end is for international students. We aren't like it's a little bit more complicated, and it costs them more money on our end to bring them here. Now, if it were a D1 JUCO, it's full ride scholarships, so it's a little bit different. But because of D2 JUCO, that you need to know is that it's only for tuition for these kids to come and books. It's not going to be for their housing and their food and stuff like that. So I think that that's a positive thing to know, just because I know that a lot of kids think that scholarships mean that they're going to come here for free and that they're going to be able to handle what they need to do. But at our level, we're just not able to do as much as they think. So I just want to kind of make people aware about that, and that grades are going to be a huge thing for kids. Because
Yeah.
that's a place that we can add money to as far as academics, but we're very limited as to what we can offer them athletically. So I just want to make sure everybody kind of knows that.
Yeah, thank you. That's great knowledge. It's imperative that the kids know that. And is there any other routes, while you're talking about that, is there any other routes that you suggest they take, considering that you're an international student? If you don't have the high academics, but you want to come to the program, you have some funds to pay for your book and your hosting, but is there any other kind of grants, or do you advise them, like any insights you can give them to try and beat the
Right.
system? Or
Apply early,
Yes, sir.
because like
Yep.
even for us, even if you don't come to school here, but
Mhm.
if you apply early, I
Yes, sir.
mean, we give away hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to kids that apply before May
Yeah.
15th.
So smart. That's
Early,
such great advice.
So,
and I didn't know
so
that. Thank you.
yeah. So if you apply to school before May 15th, get all your paperwork in, your transcripts and everything. And I'm talking about it's hundreds of thousands of dollars out there in
All right.
scholarships for those kids.
Absolutely.
Before
Yes.
I pass the question to one of the other guys, so just the visa, you haven't, like you said, you haven't experienced that issue, and it was just getting the information out into.
Not from the Bahamas, from some of the other countries. You
It's
you
more
have
difficult.
right. It's more difficult,
All right.
and that could be because the Bahamian students are flooding the U.S. As far as getting into colleges. So
Mhm.
getting kids from Serbia and different places like that, you don't see an influx of them coming. You have some, but not like I give you an example like St. Augustine in North Carolina. The track team was probably made up of 90% Bahamian,
Ah,
and
nice. Yeah.
so the U.S. is used to them.
Okay.
So dealing with that process is a lot faster. But Serbia and some of these other countries, Montenegro and places like that, it's tough. It's really tough.
All right, Jeff, you take back over. Thank you, coaches. Really appreciate it. Some great information. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, David. That was a great question. Thank you, coaches. Before I carry on, Coach Rochun, you said that grades is important. So at College of Lake County, you all offer academic scholarships to students who don't reside in the state of Illinois.
So this is the big piece for us, is that what we offer is we don't necessarily can give them academic money, but what we can offer them, that I tell a lot of kids, is to, like Coach was saying, is apply early, because we have in-state like addresses here for these kids where they apply, and then their tuition is cut. If you are an out-of-state kid, about about $7,000. But if you come and you apply with an in-state address, then it's going to be $2,300. So it instantly cuts it for you if you're able to start working towards getting yourself and committing yourself to being around here, because you can get an address that's here that honestly, like I said, will cut your tuition honestly in half. And for international kids, it's a little bit tougher. However, they are able to work with our school if they start the process early. And if we start the process early, we'll have you talk to our counselors. We'll have you talk to our people that are in our department that are truthfully trying to help you make it work. Because our school has it was like a super small junior college as far as like it looked. It looked like it was a very small college, but now they've kind of opened it up and they've made it to be a school that looks like if you were, for example, if you I went to West Virginia University. So I look at this school now and I see how modern it looks. And that's what our school looks like now. So it's like, wow, it's way more presentable. Now, what are they trying to do to help kids? And they've created an entire student center to help kids to, help them go to the next level, because I think they're truly bought into now what we'd like to do. It's going to take a little bit of time for kids to see it happen, and I think I know for facts that kids right now that are regular students, they're seeing it happen right now. I just know that our basketball players we just sent one to Roosevelt in the city, and we weren't sending kids anywhere. Yeah. So now it's like we got kids that UIC likes. So now we've kind of built it into a nothing where they call it the last chance school, to now we have kids in the area that want to come that just aren't good enough anymore. So now we developed a developmental team, like I was telling Coach, to make opportunities for these kids, because every kid deserves it. Like, I truly believe that, because I would be a kid, like, I'm from this area and I wouldn't be good enough to play on this team. But I know that I would be good enough to be on the developmental team and then to find myself a school somewhere else. So I just always want to make sure that there's opportunities for kids, and our head coach has done a great job with that. And like I said, I'm really happy to be here again, just to learn, because I want to find a way that we can give our kids more opportunities, or other kids that haven't been here yet an opportunity. That's really what this is about. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Coach. Okay, that's really interesting. And so
I don't mean to cut you off, Jeff, and I want to say this too. One thing that could help you guys with your student athletes from over there. Mm-hmm. Just say, for instance, you got 10 or 11 guys in your program that's good enough to play college basketball. Bring them over here and tour. Say, for instance, in April or May, get those 10, 11 guys together and say, hey, call up the, certain schools, junior colleges, four-year schools, say, hey, can we come in and scrimmage, and to give those kids that exposure against the talent that they will be competing against. And believe me, I know a lot of schools that wouldn't be opposed to that.
Really? Interesting.
Because I definitely would. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be opposed to it at all.
Okay. No, that's amazing to know, honestly, Coach, because like I said, we're trying to find ways to make sure that these kids are seen, to make sure that they have an opportunity to at least play against, the level that, the college basketball player. Everybody is talking about, hey, I can send you to post grad, and then you end up playing against guys that, just not playing against anybody. And it's like, I want you to play against the real team, and like post grad, we can do it. We can do the JV team XYZ, but how are they really seeing what level they're at? And that's where me as a coach, like, maybe I just have a little more passion about it. But I agree with you about finding, these talent. And that's such great advice. Like, I'm so happy you said that, because I would have never thought of that.
All right, thank you, Coach. Coach, I'm going to pass it over to Josh. Josh, I know you have a question for the coach.
Yeah. First of all, I'm a West Virginia University alumni as well, so
I love it.
Yeah. So we gotta show love right there. Even though I never stepped foot on the campus, but we still got to show love right there.
Absolutely.
But when we're talking about recruiting, you guys all there's barriers from everywhere, from students, parents, coaches. You all go through barriers. Then you tack on the year 2020 to add that on it, where you're talking about the COVID, but not just the COVID, race relations currently in the country. So how are you dealing with that with the, what parents who may be concerned with sending their kids off? And like, what service do you have for the students to deal with that right now? I know like Edward Ward is in the HBCU, so the race relations and everything there.
Well, for us, because we've been so insulated, our campus is so insulated. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Nat Glover. He was our former college president. He just retired maybe going on 3 years now. He was actually the first Black sheriff in Duval County. And that was monumental for Florida. And he was featured on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and got all this national attention from the media. So what he did was he cleaned up Jacksonville to as best he could, and did a great job at it. But one of the most significant things he did was he put a sheriff's department on EWC campus. So we have daily interactions with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Department. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Department, at our basketball games, we have to have police officers on duty. Jacksonville Sheriff's officers are our police officers. So they know our student athletes very well.
Love that.
When you're walking through campus, you're walking through the Sheriff's Department. You walk past the Sheriff's Department. Those guys, the detectives and all those guys teach classes in the Criminal Justice Department. So the guys and females, they teach classes in, the Criminal Justice Department. So with the campus community, we hadn't had any issues. Like I say, they know the kids very well. They get to know the kids. They come and speak with my team about how to handle law enforcement, and, when they're pulled over, what to do, what not to do, things of that nature. And we also have our Office of Disability Counseling and Disability Services. So if a kid has an issue, they could go to that office, and they're directed every step of the way at that point. What's needed? What's the next step? Okay. Do I need to receive counseling outside of EWC? They're directed wherever they need to go. So those things, we hadn't had any issues, but we have those programs in place for any of our kids, whether it's a student athlete or a student that would need some help in that sense.
I think that's great. That's pretty good. To see them have that on campus like that, that's amazing. It builds a lot of relationship.
Yep.
And that's the first I've heard of that. That's really good.
Oh, that's amazing. And I'll kind of piggyback off that. We have a similar program on campus, and something that our school has really taken an initiative about has been inclusion, and being inclusive to all races has been a major thing in this area. And I work at a local high school, and something that we've really been doing is making sure that we include everybody, even parents. Like, they've even gone to the fact of, like, there is Spanish and English as far as everything. Like, just when I lived in Canada, and it was French and English was always made sure to, so that people could see and people could, accept the fact, like, hey, this is how, this is what we speak, and, it's comfortable. And that's something that, this area is now starting to do. And as well as at our school, like, they've created a whole entire, they've created an entire place for students to go and speak and talk to anybody that they need help for academic help, if they need help for, if they need help for support, like Coach was speaking about, as far as, just if anything is going on as far as in their personal life that they can reach out to. They have all those resources, and our school is doing a great job with making sure that they tell everyone that they're available. and that you are able to come here, and we want you to come and reach out to us. I think that was a big thing that our school didn't do a great job of, that now they are really taking pride in doing. And now kids are reaching out, and like I said, we've even seen our tuition grow, just in the fact that they've been inclusive to all of the communities. Like we have 3 campuses in our area, but they only used to offer in-person classes to one campus. So now they've opened that up, and now we're starting to see kids come from areas that they weren't coming from, to come and attend classes and come and be a part of our campus. So like I say, I think, the biggest thing is inclusion, but also creating that space where you're welcome to come be who you are, and that's something that our school didn't do a great job of, that has now done a way better job. And that's why I wanted to just piggyback off what Coach said, because including kids and providing the resources is such a big deal.
Okay,
So
thank you.
that's what I have.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Thank you. I want to pass it on to my colleague, Clyde. Clyde, I know you have some questions for the coaches that you want to share.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just sitting here and learning a whole lot of stuff. Coach Stubbers and Rochun, I like what you guys are trying to do as far as building that cohesive community and changing the culture of what these kids are dealing with on the college campus. And one of the things I know for me here, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and one of the hardest things for me, I stopped I stopped coaching now. I'm doing more player development. And one of the hardest things for us now is really trying to do in this COVID-19 situation. I'd like to get your feedback on this. How are you guys dealing with it? I know now the NBA is dealing with this, but I just came out of Orlando, and I was close to Jacksonville too. Was heading my way for the beach, but in my mind. I drove from Tampa with my wife. Like, there's too much driving for me. I'm a Bahamian. I used to all the driving. So, but I'm excited to learn more about your programs and what you guys are doing. Because again, like, it's for me now, I'm not focusing much on coaching, but more player development. How do we now get these kids now to really think outside the box? And for me, what I like to know is, during this COVID experience, how are you guys, how are you dealing with your players? And how can parents feel safe now with their kids coming to be a part of the program? Because everything is COVID now. You go into Walmart, they shutting down Walmart early because COVID-19. They just stopped me the other day, said I can't come back to Walmart unless I got a mask on. I went to the gym. They tell me I can't come in the gym. Only 4 people are allowed in a gym. I like we got all kind of space, man. So right. I can't do no development. So I like to know how you guys are dealing with that COVID-19.
Well, early on, what we did was we would work out with 1 kid on each end of the floor. To keep the social distancing, we would disinfect the balls, and any type of equipment that we use, we disinfected it. Then as time progressed, what we did was we said, okay, most of our guys, they live together. So once they were tested and all were together and only been around each other, we was able to bring them in groups of 4s like we would normally do. So not a whole lot has changed for us, because we were doing it that way anyway. We never worked out when we did our individual workouts with more than 4 or 5 guys in a group anyway. So, cutting it down to 2 at some point, at a certain point, didn't really stop anything we were doing. Only thing that changed for us was making sure we had the disinfectants to disinfect the equipment and the balls. And now one other change that we made was, in between the workouts, we give it 30 to 35 minutes before we start the next workout. So to give the disinfectant enough time to sit in and kill whatever germs that's needed. So it really hadn't, as far as my team, it hadn't changed a lot of things for us as far as the team is concerned.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, no, Coach, honestly, to be honest with you right now, we've kind of been shut down completely. I'm in Illinois, so we're not allowed to do anything. We've been masks on, and this entire time, so we haven't had the opportunity to be in the gym honestly since March 15th, and that's kind of when our season was able to, like I said, it was ended sooner than we wanted it to be, like Coach had said, and then after it ended, we kind of have been on the recruiting trail and doing everything virtually, so all of our stuff has been virtual, and everything that we've wanted to do, we've had to communicate with our parents like this. And it hasn't been something we like or nobody likes, but we've kind of gotten used to it a little bit. And we've also asked parents to understand kind of where we're at. And like, to answer your question, we've been doing a lot of our workouts online. I've been doing a lot of my stuff like this. And it's honestly, it's been not conventional, and I haven't liked it. Even my parents are like, I don't really want to have conversations with you like this. But what we've done is it's been like, hey, we're going to get on for 15 minutes, and we're going to see how hard you can go through this workout. And I've had kids that I've just put through just Tim Grover's jump training, and they've been like, Coach, do you realize how long 30 seconds is? And I'm like, yeah, it's terrible. I'm sorry. But you said you wanted to work out online, and you really want to work out. That's kind of where I've been. It's like, you want these type of workouts, but then, if I'm not there with you, how are you going to push yourself? And it's kind of been like that, but they've started to kind of understand, like, wow, this is really going to come from within, so I think providing, legitimate workouts for them is positive, as well as, having it be from players that have been successful. I think sometimes it's tough. Like, if you can't work out with them physically, it's hard to be like, hey, this is what is going to help you get to the next level. At least that's where I was at when I was coaching high school kids. College kids are a little different because honestly, they want to move to the next level. So it's been a little bit easier. But, when I was in high school, it was like, man, it was like pulling teeth sometimes to get, ninth graders to work out. When they're the ones that are said like, hey, coach, I want to go to the next level. I want to be a college guy, coach. So I think that, that's been a big thing for us, has been like sticking to this virtual reality kind of, and, holding them accountable. And if they haven't wanted to work out, unfortunately, I haven't gone the road of, doing this crazy hardcore discipline and not talking to them. I just keep encouraging them to kind of reach out and work out, because I don't want to lose. I just don't want to lose anybody right now, due to the fact that, like, right now it's hard to trust, and I don't want to lose any guys that would, maybe they don't trust this online thing right now, but they also need to work. But I don't want to lose them. So, I just, I kind of think that we're just kind of keep trying to grow it, and, provide as many resources as we possibly can about working out. And the resource I provide is Drew Hanlon. I don't know if anybody really follows that, but I do pure sweat workouts with my players. And I've seen guys progress from no good, like didn't really understand the game, to like learning the game and then being able to apply those skills that we learned immediately to their play. And then they saw some development, and, guys have gone whatever level. But I just think deciding on what you want to do as far as the training piece goes, and then, making sure that you can consistently communicate it with your players will go a long way, Coach. And, I think you're already doing a phenomenal job. I just think it's like, it's just try to adjust a little bit just because of our situation.
And the other thing that helped us a lot too is that our campus never shut down. So our campus has been open, the entire time, and our dorms have been open. So that's how I was able to keep my kids there. And like I said, they was already around each other every day. So it wasn't a situation where we bringing people into the fold that wasn't around each other every day. So that was one of the reasons why my AD and our administration didn't have any issues with us working out the way we worked out. We just limited the groups.
Right.
So that was just one compromise I made. I said, okay, well, instead of me bringing them in fours like I normally do, we'll do twos. So they were okay with it, and and then we did a lot of stuff outdoors, which was a good change for us too, because other than being on the beach, we never worked out outdoors. So we took some of the weight platforms and the bumper plates and all those things outside, and the guys actually like that more than they like being in the weight room.
So that's interesting. So we're looking at, for me, it's about self-discipline. And so we're looking at kids, even if you're in the Bahamas, you're in a better situation where you still have to be self-disciplined and working out. Like you say, you got the beach. That's where I did a lot of my training, on the beach. And so I think a lot of our kids need to understand during this pandemic time, it doesn't matter where you are, the self-discipline have to start with you.
Yeah.
You got to make the difference. I tell my kids, if I'm pushing you more than you pushing yourself, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
You should, because you're the one who need to go to the next level. And if you're not self-motivated, then we have an issue. And I think you guys trying to create a culture in the schools, what you're trying to do and bringing in kids with that same like-mindedness.
Yeah.
Because I remember some other coaches saying too, you can't bring in knuckleheads. And a lot of times these kids don't understand, even looking at social media and looking at what they do is going to affect a lot of things that coaches going to make decisions as far as them coming into their school. And so I think it's very important for kids to know that what they do during this pandemic plays a vital role too in their development as well.
Yep.
So I appreciate what you guys are doing as far as even doing this COVID. I was surprised Edward Waters didn't close down. That's interesting because most colleges, UGA just opened up a couple of days ago. Georgia Tech just opened up a couple of days ago. Everything was like on a lockdown. And so
I'm gonna say this too, for the Bahamian students that's even contemplating coming to EWC. If you guys go on our social media feed today, our president just paid off the balances of all of our students from the fall and spring.
Whoa.
So
I need to enroll in Edward Waters College.
Hey, coach, you
I was just about to say that
what's
myself.
up, coach? Like, what are you guys doing? You know what I'm saying? I need to know too.
Listen,
I'm scared to pull up my balance.
Wow.
If you go on our social media feed, you'll see he just paid off the balance of every student that was enrolled in the fall and spring of 2020, 2021.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Wow.
I got to take a trip down there to Edward Waters.
Man, love to have you, man. Love to have you.
I'm going on Synergy tonight, coach. So just so you know that.
Yeah, go on Synergy and check us out, man.
Yes, sir. I am definitely going on Synergy tonight. So believe that. Wow.
That's it. That's amazing right there. I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah.
So when you hear that the president of Edward Waters paid off the balance of all the students for the 2020-2021, that's this upcoming year. So that's incredible right there. And we talk about institutions supporting their students. That right there is a perfect example of an institution that's looking out for the well-being of their students. And this is something that, what we spoke about this earlier, when students are looking for a college to attend. That's the number one thing. You have to go where you feel comfortable and where you trust in the administrators to actually have your back. And
That's talking. That's walking what they talk.
Yeah, that's it.
And believe it or not, man, he's doing it, man. And he hired me, and I can't say enough about the guy, man. He's working hard and he's really student centered, and we got so many good things going on that campus, man. We're building a $4.4 million football stadium right now, turf football stadium. He just renovated another one of our dorms. You could go online and you could see it. It's gorgeous. He put, I think he might have put $4 million into it, and then just turn around and paid off the balance of 700 plus students.
Yeah, that's it.
What else can you say, man?
No, that's it. That's students. That's a perfect example of an institution that's looking out for the well-being of the students that's enrolled into their program. Right. So this is the type of institution that you should look into, a place where you believe that the administrators have your best interests at heart, your well-being at heart. That's it. So, well, the final question, coaches. I mean, we had you on here for some time. I know we exceeded our limit we initially talked
Hey
about.
man, I'm here as long as you guys need me, man.
Exactly.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Yeah, but I just got one more question. And the final question is, we know we have on our coaches panel on July 31st, where Coach Rochun and Coach Summers will be on the panel to go more in depth on the programs that they coach at. But I just want to ask a simple question. What are you two looking forward to in regards to that panel?
I'm looking forward to the questions that, and seeing how the parents and what the parents and the student athletes think about the universities and the basketball programs in the States and what it takes to get here. I know I've come across some kids that they have this sense of, oh, it's easy to play college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no.
I don't know.
Right. And but I'm anxious to hear those questions and find out from them what do they think it really takes.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to answer some of those questions and to let them know that, hey, it's tough. And like Coach was saying, you got to be disciplined. You got and if a coach is pushing you more than you're pushing yourself, then this probably not the program for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not a good fit for you.
Yep.
Oh, I agree. And just to, piggyback off that a little bit is that, I would really truthfully, I've heard what parents have asked, kind of what does it take? But I kind of want to know, what do they think it takes? Because a lot of what they think it takes does not line up with us as coaches. And it's been really tough I'm sure as a high school coach, like I know when I was coaching high school, and even at the junior college level, it's like truthfully, very similar. Just describing to these parents what it's going to take for their sons or daughters to get to the level that they want to go to. And they can't truthfully understand it because sometimes I don't know if us as coaches, we don't put them in front of these people enough, just to let these coaches know, like, hey, guys, this is what we're dealing with daily that they just don't understand. And can you please give them an honest interpretation of what they're dealing with? Because truthfully, like I get kids that, will contact me, that I can't play dead sometimes. And it's like, guys, like, what do you, like, where are you at right now? Because like, you don't shoot 200 shots a day. You don't even make 200. You don't even shoot 200. So how can our goals aren't lining up? So it's kind of like we need to bring more people to their audience that we can bring them to, is like to see, hey, this is what it's going to take, but also having players like co-sign that, because a lot of times we just as coaches, we bring coaches on to, co-sign what we say. And as a parent, now I have kids. I'm like, man, I would love to see an athlete so that my son or daughter can see, hey, I'm not lying, but I think that as coaches, what we can do is we can do just a little bit better of a job as bringing in the players that we actually are working with right now, as opposed to bringing in the guys that have made where we think they should go, because at the end of the day, we're going to have a lot more players that just play high school basketball. So we need to show them what it takes to make it there. And I don't think we always want to show them the end goal and the product at the end, but we don't want to show them what it takes to get through the process. And that's how, coaches at Edwards College is going to get players. Because if we don't show him that process and how to be a player, he's never going to be able to. He has nobody to recruit, and we look crazy, on the college or the high school end. You know what I mean? And that's what I've learned, kind of coaching at this level. And I'm a low level, I'm D2 junior college, but what I've learned is that we have to send players to coach. Mm-hmm. And if I can't send him somebody I trust, there's no point in me calling him. Mm-hmm. Because then what is he going to look like? He's got an established program. He's crushing it. And I'm going to send him something that can possibly make his program regress? No chance. So kids need to understand that there is a lot, for coaches that are helping you, because at the end of the day, we're pretty close to ages. My wife is from Serbia, so all I do is we talk the European game, and she gives me different agents to talk to, and just kind of speak about the game, because I wanted to bring that type of game to the U.S. because what is AAU basketball to me? Same thing as a European club, so I want to do that. But like, it's kind of like we got to get people to understand that coaches over at Edwards College, where Coach Summers at Edwards College, and he's basically dealing with players that are in European systems that are in clubs. So to disrespect his level and to don't do that to him, So I think we need to educate parents and people more so that they understand what his level is, because I don't think that truthfully people understand the level, and it's a bit disrespectful to say, hey, you should just go NAIA when the player of the year is going to be a pro, and the guy on his team that was a point guard is an NBA prospect. So that's just where I'll stop with that, but that's just kind of where I'm at with that.
And I'm gonna say this too. I had a kid, to piggyback on the disrespect part. I had a kid when I first took the job here, came to my office and asked me if he could try out for the team. He's never played high school basketball before.
Oh,
It happens all the time. No, we get guys like that all the time. It's crazy. Insane.
And that is the greatest form of disrespect. And but guess what? You know what I told him? I said, bring your gear on in the gym.
Exactly.
And I told my guys, I said, let me tell you something. This kid ain't never played high school basketball, and he think he can come in here and take one of your spots. He could not get the ball across half court.
Oh, wow.
His parents was with him, and I wanted them to see that.
They have to understand.
I wanted them to see that.
Yep.
And I let it last for about 45 minutes, and I told the parent, I said, he can't play here. Just like, and left it at that.
Yep. No, and coach, like that's, and I hate for people to be brutally honest, but everybody wants to hire and fire coaches. So it's like we got to make sure, as far as players, that you have the opportunity early, like you were saying. You have the chance to do it early, so do it right away. Take the advice that people are giving you and don't brush it off as, well, he's at a lower level. Well, that's, honestly, truthfully, because he's, he was probably an assistant somewhere else, and, now he's here and he's working his way up. So maybe like learn. And I want to teach kids to research these coaches that they're.
But like you said, though, it's so many pros at the NAIA level.
Yes, sir. So many.
Let me tell you, even like you're saying, Chris Coffey, he played for my guy, Chris Briggs at Georgetown. Chris Coffey is a pro. I mean, he's a legitimate pro, 6'7", 6'8" guard.
Pro. And
we have plenty of those guys in our league.
So
and these kids and these parents think that, oh, my son can play. And believe it or not, I tell every freshman that I recruit, I say, you probably won't play till the end of your sophomore or beginning of your junior.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off like that, Coach. I'm sorry.
So if you're coming in thinking that you finna garner 15, 20 minutes a game right now, you might as well turn around.
Right. And that's why I tell them, I say, hey, take your I don't say JUCO is like the only option, but I say, hey, come learn how to play, learn how to be a part of a good team. And then, like I say, coaches at NAIA are going to be like, we want you right now. Just based on my experience, we have a freshman that averaged 15 a game for us. Like, he was an all-conference player. The NAIA said, hey, he comes back one more year, we'll give him a full ride. And we were like, NAIA? And we're like, yeah. NAIA D2, they were like, yeah, if he goes back one more year, Coach, we got him. We like him a lot. We just, right now, this is our situation. I've been like, that's what, like, honestly, I got on Synergy. Like, truthfully, that's when I started getting on more, is because they told me that, and I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. I want to see this for real, because like I had the opportunity. I was gonna go to a junior or a NAIA, but I just had not. But then I was like, man, Cardinal Stritch in Milwaukee, they won a national title, and that was where I started looking even more. My buddy went there and won a national title. So I'm like, man, the level's unbelievable. We need to push more guys that are at the junior college level, especially because they're going to have an opportunity. And that's kind of where we've been. But, yeah, honestly, they told us, like, hey, coach, send him back for one more year, and then he's NAIA ready to contribute. That's what I tell guys. I just want to say that.
And not on, and like Coach is saying, NAIA, it's pros at that level. And believe it or not, I coached at the USCAA level as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there with NAIA as well, because the academic restrictions as far as getting them qualified is a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So I could go and get 4 or 5 Division I transfers that that's been out of school a year, because the USCA has a 1-year non-participation rule. So if you've been out of school for a year, you immediately eligible when you come in.
Yeah.
And I kept my teams loaded with 4 or 5 Division I transfers every year.
Yep.
Oh wow.
I love it.
And I have 9, and as of today, I have 9 of those guys playing pro ball right now.
Nice.
And that's what it's about. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it. No, I'm glad you all. I'm glad you actually brought that point up, Coach Rochun. It is a level of disrespect that exists, and these students, they have to understand that. Playing college ball is not easy at all. I'm not that old. I'm only 32, but I grew up watching. I grew up watching Scottie Pippen. I think Central Arkansas, they're Division I now, but they were NAIA when he was there. And then I grew up by the time I was paying attention to basketball, he was one of the top players in the league. I remember seeing Terry Porter play. I remember seeing these guys come out and play. And then, my dad, he used to tell my brother and I that he said NAIA, so that's where the stars used to come from. He said a lot of the black athletes, they came from the NAIAs. You understand the story about the HBCUs.
Right, all of them were NAIA.
NAIA, and those they were stars. So I know as the NCAA expanded and D1 provided more exposure, they were able to tap into these areas and get these top athletes a lot more easily. But that blueprint is still there. They still get in top talent. And I think students need to realize that at the end of the day, if you can hoop, you're gonna go to the next level. If you go wherever you go, if you go and you win and you put up stats to be productive, you're gonna go. Now, if you go somewhere and be on the bench, it just wasn't meant for you. But we can't, we can't dismiss, the effectiveness of the NAI and the competition that exists on that level. But we want to thank you, coaches, for joining us, Coach Rochun and Coach Summers. Thank you for being here and sharing so much information. We look forward to having you two on our panel. I know you're going to deep dive into the offense systems that you all run and what you look for in your athletes. And we, after tonight, we can't wait to have you back on. But we want to thank you for being here on this podcast in regards to college preparation for international students pursuing to be student athletes in the U.S. So we want to thank you, coaches. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your evening with your family.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. And like I said, anytime you guys need me, man, don't hesitate to reach out. And I'm a phone call or a text message away, man.
Okay, thank you.
I'm coming to Jacksonville, Coach.
Come on, man.
I know, but Chicago's a little extra drive for me, but I'm coming to Jacksonville.